Yeah, it's easy meeting with people because I'm going to just be myself. So it's like you either like it or you don't. When people say I'm not, one of the top quarterbacks or the top quarterback, is what are y'all going based off of?
And there was just too many reasons for them to pick out and say, hey, I'm not in on Shedeur.
Well, I like Shedore. It's because of the swagger, though. Like,
Shedeur Sanders hasn't even laced him up for the Cleveland Browns yet, and he's already making an impact both with his future teammates as well as his fans. He's already in the top 10, number 3 specifically, number 1 with the updated results, but it's not official yet, in best-selling rookie jerseys already. Hey, that's crazy for a 5th-round draft pick. You got Mr. Greg Newsome, who's going to speak on the draft and kind of what he likes in quarterbacks. We're also going to pop in with Adam Schefter and Pat McAfee. They're going to talk about, a little bit about him in a second. We got Njoku shouting them out, and we have a tweet and delete of Mr. Mike Woods, who was another Cleveland Browns that was supporting the guy, but it seems like they were showing too much support, so they had to delete. And then we're going to finish off with this conference call that I've been trying to finish, but I really think there's some good stuff in here from the Browns. So let's hop right into it, and we're not going to delay. Let's hear what Greg Newsome. Now, this was, I went and researched it. This was actually back in the draft. So, I mean, during the combine time. This is like in March. This is kind of what he had to say about Shedeur Sanders back
in general.
No, in general.
In general, just in general.
Well, I like Shedore. The reason why I say that,
quarterbacks
in general, is because of the swagger, though. Like, I just like a quarterback that just got that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that it factor, man. Like, when you come in a game as a quarterback, if you coming in there with that confidence and swagger and talking your
Pop
stuff,
that shit, Greg.
like that's my type of guy. Like, honestly, like I think Cam Ward is unbelievable too. But like just straight personality and all that, like, I like a dude that's gonna talk, especially at the quarterback position. Like I remember my rookie year, Ben Roethlisberger, same way. Like he talking crazy to me as a rookie. like, I'm like,
Oh,
like, yo,
man.
what's bro on?
Ew.
But I respect that. I
like that. I like to hear from that. So it seemed like they were already, you know what I'm saying? They're already on the train, right? They already knew it. They already knew what it was. And like I said, this is from David Njoku. He's already tweeting out, hey, let them all hate, fam. You know what you got going on. And again, Mike Woods, there was another Cleveland Browns. Good thing I had this quote tweet, what's it called, quoted, but the Cleveland Brown player actually deleted it. What's it called? I don't think it's Mike. I don't think it's Mike Woods. I forgot who exactly it was, and that's what I was trying to hunt down the original post. But this is another Cleveland Browns player, obviously deleting it because people were starting to put 2 and 2 together. We already talked about how Cleveland Browns got Shedeur Sanders posted everywhere on the timeline. NFL's got all the Sanders stuff posted and pinned, and you know what I'm saying. Look, the kid brings in money, and we knew what it was and what it always was gonna be. So we're gonna take a slight detour. Let's check in on an update with an NFL insider and Adam Schefter, as well as Pat McAfee. They're going to have a few takes here. And then after that, again, we're going to hop right into the conference call, give some takes, and then kind of wrap things up.
Like, I had several of those conversations with teams about, like, all right, how was the meeting? Wasn't great. Like, all right, why? And it's like, well, just didn't come off great. And I'm like, all right, what does that mean? Probably nothing. It's like, I spent a lot of time trying to figure. I'm not just talking about Shedeur. This happens with a lot of different prospects and a lot of different things. Like these guys are picked apart like never before or since ever. It's only the draft are these things picked apart to this level, and it's very challenging. It sucks in a lot of ways, but teams are making multi-million-dollar investments, so like it's on them to find out everything you can. But like all the things that were discussed publicly in Tom's article and other places, or all the stuff that were being discussed privately as well. And like the one thing about Shedeur that I keep coming back to is like, Dion is awesome, great player, great dude, was a very excellent colleague, worked with him for a long time, and every interaction with him has been great. And honestly, all my interactions with Shedeur, of which there have been several, like have been really good. Like
Me too.
Actually, I told you guys,
I like to say that.
told you that story when we FaceTime. Like he spent plenty of time talking to my kids on FaceTime. Like, seems like an awesome guy. The advice he got, I don't think was good.
Yeah, I wonder if he thought it was confidence he was showing. That's why I wish that report would have came out a little earlier. So then maybe we can correct course a little bit, and maybe there's a chance to call and say, "Hey, I did not mean to come across that way." But instead, we're sitting on stories. We're sitting on stories.
Doing that.
I didn't know this is what you journalists do. It's unbelievable. So maybe this is a great learning lesson too for this entire process. And once again, in building anything can happen as long as you're in there. Not as easy as a 5th rounder as it is a 1st rounder, but once you're in the building, you have a chance.
See, and now I am always open to being wrong in some way, in some shape. But look, and I'll yap for a second before we get back into Shedeur Sanders. So if y'all don't like yapping, get out of here. But I've made plenty of videos. Y'all can check my channel from the combine, because there were reports of, entitled and arrogant and stuff like that. But people really didn't take it seriously. Namely, I didn't take it seriously, and I definitely didn't take it serious the day before. But the more people talk about it, the more that it's explained, the more that the true, and I talked about Occam's razor in one of my videos, right? Just like the most logical thing that happened probably happened. And I think the most logical situation, to Shefty's point, there's going to be no other job. And I know people say job interviews don't dissect you the way that NFL draft picks you get dissected. Like it's just different, right? And it's not because it's a more important job. You know what I'm saying? It's just because it's a lot of money. It's a billionaire that's going to invest potentially hundreds of millions of dollars into you at a future to run their $1 billion organization. But so I think that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to maybe with all that happened, I have to sit here as a Deion Sanders guy, Shedeur Sanders guy, and as a Cam Ward guy. I'm a Cam Ward guy. And you have to look at it and say, hey, even though it's not right, even though it's not cool, maybe the confidence did rub people the wrong way. Maybe Deion Sanders being his agent wasn't the best idea. Like I can still support that, and I think people can still be great and still do amazing things. And hey, man, we swung and we missed. He treated this like he was a top 5 pick, and I was behind it. I was like, hey, even if he's only a 1st round pick, I think it makes sense, because honestly, I thought the way that people wanted to dissect him. I was of the mindset that don't do those things, because you don't want to invite a Tyler Schultz situation where now they got a viral clip of you doing whatever, or the Will Howard situation where people were, clipping him up and XYZ. Shout out to Shadore, who actually, supported Will Howard and said he was, it really stuck up for him. But, people don't, people forget about that. It's easy to forget about that. They just want to talk about him being entitled or whatnot. But yeah, I think that as a Deion guy, as a Shedeur guy, as a football guy, as someone who also really, the reason why I'm an NIL transfer portal guy is because I don't like the way like certain football fans, if you catch my drift, like to twist the intentions of young athletes in general, not just young black athletes, all young athletes. We saw what they did to Nico. They will throw a young athlete under the bus easily. Now, it's different when you're in the NFL. Hey, Shadore, hey, you're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to fight your fight. But I feel like college players, they do need a voice. They do need to, hey, let's put this in perspective. He's young, he's this, whatever. When you get into the NFL, dog, at this point, the gloves are starting to come off, right? If there's ever anything else that's heard from Shedeur that, oh, he's this, he's that, he's actually arrogant, that's not y'all trying to make him feel bad because he's celebrating or take him out of context, I'm going to have to take that and say, hey, maybe that's what Shedeur is. But from what I can see, it just seems like more of a conglomeration of a lot of things. Maybe I heard the whiteboard work wasn't great, and that tracks because we know that offense that he was ran, first off, he had like 4 different offensive coordinators, right? And then at the last 2 years, obviously there was a big switch there. And then in the last year, he didn't run a real pro style offense. It was more advanced than Jackson Dart, but it was not a pro style offense at all, right? It didn't have any pro style schemes, no tight ends, no motions, anything. So apparently he got to the whiteboard and it wasn't good. Apparently they didn't like that they got to the whiteboard and it wasn't good, right? And then you have the Deion effect, and then you have him saying this stuff. There were too many reasons in number, not in severity. That's what I'm starting to get. And I think I can come to terms and be like, hey, look, 2 things can be truthful. Shedeur Sanders, because everybody's account, I have a bunch of accounts of people just saying he's awesome, he's great, he's good to talk to. We have interviews of him coming off as humble, understanding, self-aware in a standpoint, but still confident and firm in what he has. It's hard for me to believe that all that with no real off the field stuff, that something's bad. But as I get older, like sometimes it doesn't have to be awful to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It don't have to be the worst thing to be bad or need to be corrected, right? Now, I think what this was a death by 1,000 cuts. Is Deion Sanders a distraction thing? Yeah, but if you're good enough, they'll take it. Is him being bad on the whiteboard, not being in a real offense and being able to at least study on that craft and be ready for the whiteboard? Yeah, but if you really trust him, boom. Does he not have the most elite athletic tools? Yeah, but like there's just too many when you add everything together, I think I'm of the mind that said that's what people were doing. Like they all had their one reason, and there was just too many reasons for them to pick out and say, hey, that's just why I'm not in on Shedeur. But I can still say, hey, that's not a complete indictment on who Shedeur is as a person. But we can still also say, hey, maybe they didn't handle the situation the best, right? And that's just being real. That's just being honest. That's looking at things that perspective. I'm not going to let people try to call him out his name and say he's this and entitled. Did he come off as entitled? Maybe he did. Did he come off as brash? Maybe he did. Maybe people received that in the wrong way, but a lot of people are misunderstood, and I'm not going to let a misunderstanding be a reflection of, oh, he's terrible, he's this, he's that, because he's never reflected that, and there's never been, besides these anonymous quotes, the only time anybody has anything actually damaging to say about Shedeur Sanders is when they don't put their name on it. So I think it's an interesting conversation. Speaking of Shedeur Sanders, let's hear him in the Browns press conference. We've been trying to get through this for a while. We'll start this about 2 minutes in. I think it starts to get a little juicy. He's going to kind of speak on how it feels to be a Brian. You know what I mean?
I feel like talent is everywhere throughout the draft. It's about just being picked and who sees your value. That's pretty much it, because it's a lot of valuable players that go, in the rounds after the first and second. So I'm a product of one of those, and I understand you can't really categorize, I'll say, my talent. I just got to prove and show what I'm capable of. But what fuels me is my purpose in life and understanding the route that's now that we're going to have to take. Understanding that I was able to get an opportunity when a lot of people didn't want to give me an opportunity. So that's what I'm truly thankful for. So that's what fuels me.
Hey, Shedeur, this is Daniel Oyefusi with ESPN. I just wanted to get your thoughts on specifically coming to Cleveland to play for the Browns. I know that this was an organization that you spent a lot of time with during the pre-draft process, and now it's official that you are coming here, but maybe a little later than you expected. So how do you think you're going to fit in with this team and with this organization?
I know I'm going to fit in perfectly. I feel like it's first getting in, showing the respect to the vets, showing them, I'm here ready to work, show the coaches, and have them understand, I'm here ready to work. So they could actually understand the real me. That's what I'm truly thankful to have, is an opportunity for people to actually see the real me and not be able to see, stuff that could be true or not. So that's what I'm most excited about, being in the building, and of course in the staff and on the staff and the cafeteria. Everything was extremely, the people there were genuine. It was real cool. So I left that visit knowing that if that was the place for me, I would feel real comfortable with what they have in place.
Hey, Shedeur, Christy Stroniak and Beacon Journal. I know you've been asked a million questions about your dad over the years, but obviously his experience in this specific business and in pro football, as you were going through the last couple of days and going through this, seeing, kind of waiting your turn, waiting for your name to go, what was sort of his advice to you? Was there anything he sort of said to you, or were things sort of understood just, between you and him, just about what was going on?
He said, God got us. So that's what it is. I look at what went on, and everything is a football game. You may not come out early hot. That may not happen, but when it's down to the final 2 minutes of the game, then you understand the level of seriousness raises the stake, all the stakes raised, and that's why I thrive in those high pressure moments. So I never felt any type of way. I understood, okay, this is the route, and that's it.
Shedeur, with that, what kind of burden was it being the son of Dion, and that you were not just just a regular player here in college football?
Well, it's never a burden. It's never a burden. I wouldn't look at that as that. I feel like God makes everybody have their own routes, and this is just my route. Like, there's nothing I would be able to go back and wish that wasn't my dad, because I'm truly thankful for him being there and the structure I have. So, it's never really a burden.
He's been. Oh wait.
I just find it, that other kids in similar situations, I want them to be proud of what their fathers and what they have accomplished. So then you could carry on a legacy, carry on the family name, and not really kind of feel ashamed about it. I don't like when people make people feel ashamed about it.
First off, that's real. Because I had something else I wanted to kind of comment on, specifically when it comes to the Browns and how people see him in the draft process. But I really have to commend Shedeur Sanders. Like, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is, first off, we shouldn't really feel bad for Shedeur Sanders. I get it, millionaire. He's gonna be all right. Even if he didn't get drafted, he's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't play football, he's gonna be all right, right? But I think that it's interesting that something that he does do, and I think this is a way that's you can help people in certain situations, is this idea of like, hey man, I'm proud of my father. I'm not gonna be disparaged by my father. I'm not gonna this burden that y'all speak of, that y'all want to, that y'all try to use as a burden against me. That's y'all. That's not me. I'm grateful for my dad. He always speaks about how it's amazing. I'm grateful. He's done great things. I'm ready to do things on my own. So I think that, and again, when you hear things like this, when you hear, which again, this is just normal Shadore. I know this has, but a lot of people are like, oh my God, he's so humble. Oh my God, this is what I've been hearing for the last 4 years on interviews and media. It's just, yeah, of course he's humble. He's been humble. Like I don't know whatever. And that leads me to my next point, right? First off, again, shout out for Shedeur for making people feel proud about their fathers, not having no shame about it, embracing that. But I got a problem with people who hear or saw the draft process. Oh wow, Manti Te'o. Oh, he now that what's it called? I see the way he reacted to the draft, and I just feel like he's so much humble. You got a new Shedeur fan. I'm not really mad at y'all. I think it's good that he has more support. And really, I predicted that. I said, hey y'all, the more he drops, the more fans y'all are gonna create. Y'all are gonna create a monster. Like he already has a bunch of fans. Now you're gonna force a bunch of people who had all these imaginary reasons to hate him. Now they ain't got no. Like y'all took a lot of the reasons to hate him away. Like you know what I'm saying? By doing that, by this quote unquote humbling, I think all y'all did was just boost him up and make people see him a little more human. But it's interesting to me when people say, "Oh, that's what it took to become a Shedeur fan." It's like I don't think y'all was paying attention. And hey, maybe you're not a football person. That's okay. If you're not a football person and you heard about it and it was like that, okay, cool. But come on, dog. If you thought the dude was arrogant with all these things, you probably should have hopped in these interviews and done a little research yourself and to check it out. Again, Shedeur Sanders, 5th round pick, number 3 in jersey sales for the 2025 rookies. Now, I did see a tweet from a guy, close to NFL Insider saying that number is closer to 1 now. But I'm gonna wait until the official graphic comes out because I'm sure it'll come out in the next day or two. When that happens in the next video, we'll talk about that too because I think he's gonna fly all the way up to 1. But we'll see, man. But that's it. That was Greg Newsome speaking on it. That was Shedeur Sanders speaking on being a Brown. It's gonna be an interesting time and lots of coverage of the Browns. I never thought I'd be covering the Browns, and here we are. If you're a Browns fan, let me know. If you're a Colorado fan, let me know. If you're a Shedeur fan, let me know. If you're just a football fan watching this football channel, holla at me. Let me know if there's any content you want to see in the offseason. We got plenty of great things coming your way. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy college football content, draft content, NFL content now. NFL team. Do I need to change my name? As well as transfer portal draft stuff, all types of things in between that, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Like the video. I already said that. I'm gonna stop yapping. Keep being great, and we'll see you next time.